Meanwhile, the Director General of National Irrigation Commission, Raymond Mdolwa, says that they are prepared to serve the people.
We hope that young people can find opportunities within the value chain. Every able young person should identify areas where they fit so they can tap into these opportunities.
President Samia is in Tanga for a 7-day state visit.
President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, says his government will continue to support artists because they are important in promoting tourism, investment and culture. President Mwinyi made the remarks in Kaskazini Unguja when officiating Trace Music Awards Festival.
As a government, we are committed to ensuring that Zanzibar plays an active role in this movement by supporting the artists, investing in infrastructure, and providing a conducive environment for creativity and innovation to thrive. We believe in the transformative power of music and culture. Beyond entertainment, these industries serve as powerful tools for economic empowerment, tourism development, and social cohesion.
He commends organizers of the festival for choosing Zanzibar, as it will be a good platform to promote Zanzibar internationally and publicize investment opportunities available in the islands.
To extend my gratitude to Trace for choosing Zanzibar as the host destination of this prestigious event. Your belief in the potential of Africa's creative industry is commendable.
Dr. Mwinyi urges organizers and participants of the festival to use it to strengthen cooperation, unity and good relations among artists. In other news, Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa says efforts made by President Samia Suluhu Hassan to enhance diplomatic relations with other countries have been very fruitful. He says President Samia has been a champion in promoting good relations with different countries, and by doing so, she has opened up business and investment opportunities from other nations. Majaliwa made the remarks in Dar es Salaam when he met with a delegation of parliamentarians from the European Parliament. He says the European Union has continued to be one of the great stakeholders of Tanzania in promoting business and investment, saying Tanzania values the existing cooperation in economy and democracy aspects that exist between Tanzania and the European Union. On the other hand, member of the European Parliament, Barry Andrews, commends the government of Tanzania for its efforts in improving people's lives in health, education and infrastructure sectors. 13 parliamentarians from the European Parliament are in the country for a 3-day working visit. The third G25 African Coffee Summit recently concluded. Its main focus was on revitalizing Africa's coffee industry by engaging youth, promoting value addition, and addressing systematic challenges. At the heart of the discussions was the need to create opportunities for young entrepreneurs in the coffee sector. My colleague Rioba Stephen reports.
The Restaurant Declaration reached the third G25 African Coffee Summit, among other things, agreed to support investment in value addition of coffee and its product and promote domestic coffee consumption. Speaking to TBC News, Muntanzil Hussein, the founder of the Cafe Coffee, shares his insight on the significance of the meeting in fostering entrepreneurship and promoting youth inclusion in the coffee market.
Has opened up various channels, mainly to do with how we can empower the youth in Tanzania and in Africa. Majority of the coffee farming that is done today in Tanzania and majority of the parts of Africa are held by the older generation. We have people at the age of 50s and 60s and 70s who do coffee farming, and we hardly have the youth. We have a handful of youth that have now gotten into the same chain from their grandfathers and the fathers, and then they've started learning more about coffee. But this entire summit focuses on improving the youth chain, opening up the youth into farming, and mainly into farming coffee. because coffee, of course, is the largest commodity in the world today. So we as Tanzanians are blessed to have coffee in Tanzania. And we have 17 regions in Tanzania that we grow coffee in.
He also emphasizes on how the meeting is expected to open the doors for the African coffee and urge young people to take advantage of the opportunity in the coffee values addition chain.
And of course, industrialization. So we need our youth to open up industries, coffee roasting facilities. We need to have mills, we need to have warehouses, we need to have education facilities, seminars. We need to have all this, and there is so much room for our youth to decide where they are good at.
Leaders stress the importance of the investing in research, modern technology, and youth engagement to tackle the challenges such as declining production and low intra-African trade.
Governments, private sector, stakeholders, NGOs, and coffee association is crucial in strengthening African coffee value chain. Through joint effort, we can secure a stronger position in a global coffee market and innovate all aspects of coffee value chain from production to processing and marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of Tanzania's commitment to transforming the coffee sector, we have undertaken the following initiative. Strengthening coffee research institutions to address challenges such as pests, diseases, and combat the imminent threat of climate change on coffee. Supporting farmers with agricultural input, including the provision of coffee seedlings and fertilizer subsidies, and developing a digital platform for farmers' registration and identification.
The next coffee summit is scheduled for 2027 in Ethiopia. To access the progress on this initiative, Rioba Steven, TBC.
Now let's take a look at the fisheries sector, whereby the Tanzania Fisheries Research Institute has launched the Bahari Accelerator Program, which aims to address challenges affecting the blue economy and emphasizes the integration of science and business initiatives to ensure a sustainable and inclusive approach. Antonio Kivaria attended the conference and has more details.
Generative Ocean Week is a collaborative summit starting Dar es Salaam, aiming at accelerating the sculpting up nature, climate and people-positive ocean solutions across Africa and beyond. Under the theme, Science to Solution, RAW aims to transform scientific research into practical solutions for business, technology and policy. Speaking at the summit, the head of the Blue Economy Division at African Union, Georgia Seko, says that African vision for blue economy is guided by several frameworks, including Agenda 2063.
Africa vision for the blue economy is guided by key regional framework, including Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, the African Union Blue Economy Strategy, the Lomé Charter on Maritime Security and Safety, and the African Integrated Maritime Strategy.
On his part, the Deputy Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Alexandra Mnyeti, says that the government recognizes the urgent need to invest in science and technology in order to protect ocean and promote resilience.
Economy, to be truly sustainable and inclusive, we must ensure that local community, particularly youth and women, are at the forefront of the transformation. The participants must go beyond being male beneficiaries. They are the ocean steward toward and tomorrow.
Addressing delegates at the summit, the head of cooperation at the Canadian High Commission in Tanzania, Carol Mundle, states that the blue economy is a matter of survival, highlighting the challenges associated with the required collective efforts and immediate actions to build resilience in communities, utilizing technology and innovation to address those challenges.
We recognize the important and essential role that oceans play, not just for a healthy planet, but also for the communities and the livelihoods of millions of people. Collectively, I think we share a responsibility, a sacred trust to protect these vital ecosystems and the people who depend on them.
She stresses the necessity of ensuring solutions agreed upon the conference are implemented to foster the growth of blue economy. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Antonia Kivaria, TBC News.
The Speaker of Parliament, Dr. Tulia Ackson, has emphasized the urgent need for strategic investments in youth skills development to harness Tanzania's demographic dividend and drive sustainable economic growth. Here are more details.
In a world where demographic shifts shape the future of economies and societies, Tanzania finds itself at a pivotal moment. With over 42% of Africa's population under the age of 15, the continent stands at a demographic crossroads, one that presents both opportunities and challenges. Parliamentarians, policymakers, and global partners have convened in Dar es Salaam for the Africa-Asia Parliamentarians Meeting on Population and Development, with a theme, the role of parliamentarians in harnessing population data to harness inclusive social and economic development. Speaker of the Tanzanian Parliament, Tulia Ackson, underscores the importance of youth skills development in shaping Africa's future, calling on stakeholders to invest in education, training, and job creation to harness the continent's growing youth population.
Young people constitute a significant proportion of our population, and their neglect is a ticking time bomb that could hinder progress. We risk derailing our development trajectory if we fail to invest in them. Tanzania has taken notable strides in fostering youth skills and empowerment.
Her call was echoed by the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA representative Mark Steiner, who stresses that empowering young people with education and health services is key to unlocking Africa's demographic dividend.
We've also witnessed encouraging progress across several areas, but with that remain formidable challenges: pervasive gender-based violence, harmful practices such as female genital mutilation, FGM, early child marriage, and alarming rates of adolescent pregnancy, early unplanned pregnancies among our young people.
The Japanese ambassador to Tanzania, Yoaki Mikami, reaffirms Japanese commitment to supporting Africa's development.
I'm keenly aware that parliamentarians have been tirelessly working on this important issue of population and development. Any solution of population issues must be based on the understanding of each individual.
While progress has been made in reducing maternal mortality, stakeholders raise concerns over limited access to family planning services.
In Ngorongoro, Morogoro, Shinyanga, Katavi, Kigoma, Arusha, Manyara, and Iringa, we have scaled up access to voluntary family planning services and strengthened the post-abortion care to reduce maternal mortality. Our community outreach model ensures that even those in hard-to-reach areas have access to critical health services.
Tanzania was one of our home which kept us going as South Africa. When we fought for our freedom, when we came to exile, we're given a space to operate in Morogoro. We stayed there.
As discussion continues, the Africa-Asia Parliamentarians Meeting reinforces the urgency of strategic investment in youth, maternal health, and sustainable economic policies.
Still in Dar es Salaam, African Development Bank AFDB commends Tanzania for excellent management of development projects that are sponsored by AFDB. Speaking in Dar es Salaam, leader of the team of experts, advisors and directors from AFDB, Betty Ngoma, says they are impressed by Tanzania's initiatives in improving its economy. Kara Maleo has more.
Senior advisor from the Africa Development Bank have started a 5-day working tour in Tanzania, aiming at understanding key development priorities of the country so that the bank can contribute on projects with positive impacts to Tanzanians. Speaking about the visit in Dodoma, Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Amina Hamis Shaban, says the tour is part of the annual agenda of the Board of Directors of the Africa Development Bank to the member states.
Wamekuja hapa kuja kujifunza nini Tanzania inafanya.
they have come to learn about what Tanzania is doing in terms of its economy and development projects, especially those funded by the Africa Development Bank. We have shared with them how our economy is growing and the success we have achieved through the partnership between Tanzania and the AFDB. She says Tanzania's economy is progressing well, saying in the first half of 2024, economic growth has been by 5.4% in comparison to 4.8% in 2023, commending the growth on investment in different projects such as those in energy and infrastructure. They will visit the President's Office Planning and Investment to learn more about the development vision of 2050 and the future pledges aligning with AFDB. On her side, the leader of the team of experts from the Africa Development Bank, Betty Ngoma, says they have come to Tanzania to assess economic development and to analyze strategy used to improve country's economy.
And we really recognize the economic strides that Tanzania has made, as you have indicated, and we really believe these are commendable, and we hope that others can also learn from that. But we also wanted to know that what has been behind this economic success story.
She says they will visit projects implemented by using the bank's fund in Tanzania mainland and in Zanzibar. Caroline Maleo, TBC News.
The Vice-Chancellor of Muhimbili University of Health and Allied Sciences, MUHAS, Professor Apolinari Kamuhabwa, says in recognition of the contribution of the second phase president, the late Ali Hassan Mwinyi, they have decided to honor his legacy by providing free health services to Tanzanians on the 26th to the 27th February at Mlogazila Hospital in Dar es Salaam. Speaking to journalists in Dar es Salaam, Professor Kamuhabwa says former President Mwinyi played a crucial role to reshape the standards of Muhimbili University of Health and Allied Science, urging Tanzanians to turn up for medical checkup and treatment.
And during this outreach program, a number of services will be provided to the community. So people are welcome to be provided with the medical diagnosis and information, particularly on ophthalmology, that's eye problems, ENT, ear, nose, and throat, dental health, but also on the cancer, cervical cancer, as well as breast cancer, but also hepatitis B, and the vaccination, the information on vaccination, but also the cancer of the prostate.
On the other hand, the chairman of the Committee for Ali Hassan Mwinyi Memorial Symposium says among issues to be presented at the symposium include the contribution of the late Ali Hassan Mwinyi towards the success of MUHAS.
For the College of Medicine. So this is a major achievement for us. It's a major achievement because we are going to increase the number of enrollment of students. So instead of, for example, taking 200 students to study Doctor of Medicine, we can expand to much bigger numbers. And that expansion is also part of the success of the late Dr. Ali Hassan Mwinyi.
The guest of honor of Ali Hassan Mwinyi Memorial Symposium is expected to be the president of Zanzibar and chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, on the 28th of February. Now, before we wind up our local news, let's have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. It's time now for all the latest in international news. Now let's have a look at international news as compiled and read to you by Lulua Muhammad.
The chairman of the Democratic Christian Union Party, Friedrich Merz, has won the election and becomes the 10th Chancellor of Germany since the World War II. His immediate priority is to try to form a government with the third-placed Social Democrats of Olaf Scholz. Even before the result was clear, Merz said his top priority was unity in Europe so that step by step they can really achieve independence from the US. The other big winner in Sunday's vote was the far-right Alternative for Germany, who are celebrating a record second-place result of 20.8%. Merz, who is 69 years, has never held a ministerial job, but he has promised, if he becomes the next German Chancellor, to show leadership in Europe and beef up support for Ukraine. Leaders from the European Union and Canada have gathered in Ukraine in a show of unity as Kyiv marks the third anniversary of Russia's invasion. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday hailed the heroism of his country as he welcomed European Commission President and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, among other senior officials. However, there was no representative from the United States amid growing uncertainty over Washington's support. On Monday, a meeting of EU foreign ministers reportedly approved a 16th package of sanctions against Russia. And deforestation has increased in Sudan following the lack of access to natural gas caused by the ongoing conflict in the country, which began nearly 2 years ago. Environmentalists have warned that the indiscriminate cutting of trees will affect future generations more. They urge the government to find alternative ways to avoid the damage that is currently benefiting the people and causing harm in the years to come. An official from the Ministry of Agriculture says there are laws that prohibit the destruction of the environment, but it is currently difficult to prevent that due to the need for energy for the people.
That was international news. We'll be right back with sports news. And in sports news, Tanzania Football Federation President Wallace Karia says they will use football pitches to display advertisement boards to encourage the payment of taxes in the country. Speaking after the dialogue between the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Information, Culture, Arts and Sports held in Dar es Salaam, Karia believes that sports, especially soccer, has the power to influence people to pay tax, and they will do so through football matches.
We are going to use our league to promote the payment of taxes. As I speak in front of ministers and the Tanzania Premier League Board, executive officer has taken into consideration for operations. We are going to display advert board in stadium when national team Taifa Stars will be playing, as well as Premier League games, hoping that the message of paying taxes will cut across the countries to encourage people to pay taxes.
In other sports news, the Kabaddi game chairman Abdallah Nyoni says they are fighting to get tickets to transport Kabaddi national team players to England to participate World Cup Championship tournament. Speaking to TBC in Dar es Salaam, Nyoni believes that they have a competitive team that can bring Kabaddi trophy to Tanzania, and they urge stakeholders to help them, especially with the tickets, so that they can be able to accomplish their dream.
We are working very hard, and we ask the government and Kabaddi stakeholders to sponsor tickets that will help the team to travel to England to participate in the competition. The competition will help players to gain experience and exposure to the world of Kabaddi, and after their arrival in Tanzania, they can be signed to play in professional club internationals.
Tunawaomba wadau mbalimbali waweze kujitokeza kufadhili timu yetu kwa tiketi.
Kabaddi national team players are still camping to prepare for the World Cup tournament, and the leaders of the game are still fighting to find tickets to send them to participate in the tournament in England. And that's it for sports. And now, before we wind up the news bulletin for tonight, let's have a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello, dear viewers. Good evening. I'm Desderi Moses from Tanzania Meteorological Authority, and this is 24 hours weather forecast starting from 9 p.m. tonight. From the windy patterns analysis over Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Nyasa, windy is expected to flow at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour, while over the entire coastal strip of the Indian Ocean, the wind is expected to flow at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. In the state of the sea is expected to be rough. Now, due to this weather over the entire coastal strip of the Indian Ocean, Tanzania Meteorological Authority has issued an advisory of short periods of strong winds reaching 40 kilometers per hour over some areas along the entire coastal regions of the Indian Ocean, including Tanga region, Unguja and Pemba ISOs, Dar es Salaam and Pwani regions, including Mafia ISOs, together with Lindi and Mtwara regions. Residents from these areas are advised to take all necessary precautions. Now, let us have a look at different temperature levels, where the maximum temperature is expected to reach 36 degrees Celsius over Kilimanjaro region, followed by 34 degrees Celsius over Tanga region, together with Dar es Salaam and Pwani regions. Tonight, dear viewers, it is our expectation that the entire country is expected to be mainly dry, and tomorrow, partly cloudy condition, light rain showers of a few areas, and sun period is expected over the entire southwestern Highland region, together with the Ruvuma region. And the remaining part of our country is expected to be mainly dry.